People like me wasn't supposed to end up in the place that I ended up. Oak like me was supposed to just only one restaurant would have been lucky, I suppose. Delicious food has always been a part of our life, and my aunts cook and my mother's a great cook. My grandparents were great cooks, so it was part of who I am. I was born in Belleville, Rock City, still. I think the other thing that was interesting as a youngster is I didn't have a great time at school. So I was always a bit odd, was bullied at school. I hated going to school. And kitchen sort of gave me a place that are cool for people like me, which was just, you can be a bit odd, you can work odd hours, and it was a place where I felt at home immediately. So our restaurants are actually quite personal to us, and every restaurant tells a story, and every restaurant has a story, and it's not just a story that, it might be a narrative that we stop, but it definitely is a narrative that the people that end up running that space carries forward. And as South Africans, the wonderful thing that inspires me so much about being South African is that we're so diverse, and a lot of people see our diversity as a stumbling block, but I see our diversity as our biggest asset, because it allows me to, under the blanket of being South African, is say, look, I celebrate your heritage and you celebrate my heritage, and we do it together. I'll have your cook sister if you have my cook sister. Acre, where we are now, is a very different space. Acre is inspired by just being South African. But here we tell South African stories of opposite Kerse and Karoo winters and those sort of things, because we don't often tell our own stories well enough. It's difficult for me as a South African to explain to people what it means to be a South African. The words go missing in the middle somewhere, it doesn't work. But as soon as we show South Africans how we eat and how diverse we are through our food cultures, it makes sort of sense for people immediately. And that's what Acre is all about. So it's a very intimate place. We don't actually call this a restaurant, we call it a eetkamer, it's a dining room. It's very small, we see 30 guests here, it's quite intimate, and it's just a great experience. It really is, it's great. Overture is is before the main act, it's a little act in the middle, it's the introduction to the main act. But it wasn't, it was just our introduction to the world, I suppose, of owning restaurants. But it's a very focused space. Seasonality at Overture is everything, great ingredients is everything, good supplies is everything, and we tell the story of South African ingredients there. I think if I walked to the middle of Rome and I came across this little restaurant down a little back alley, and it was just great music and an amazing wine list and good cooking, I would be quite happy. And that's what Spek and Boone is for us. Spek is my pet pig and Boone is his brother, the boxer. It's a space that's casual, simple, focused, the food is delicious, the flavours are a bit more global. We were at Spek and Boone, myself and Mali struggled to have kids, and we were at Spek and Boone one day on the ground, sort of drawing out the bar, when we got the phone call from our doctor saying that Mali's pregnant after a bit of treatment and stuff, and it was like that sort of stuff. So every space has a bit of a story for us as well. I always say to everybody, I've got two lives. My real life is restaurants, my staff, family, animals, Stellenbosch, and then my fake life is my TV, book sort of other life. And I enjoy both of them for different reasons. My first TV show that I did as a judge on Brian Master. But you know what's amazing? As I did that show, and the show still continues, they're busy shooting a season at the moment. And that show is the reason that I grew in my love for this country, because it gave me perspective over the place where we live. And I'll always be thankful for that opportunity, not just because of the TV show and the exposure, but just really the fact that I got to experience our country like few South Africans do. I like wimpy a lot, especially when I travel. You need to eat wimpy on road trips, and the combination of a wimpy cheeseburger and a wimpy strawberry milkshake is one of my favourite sort of things in the world. Actually, it tastes like a road trip in the Karoo. The Vrye burger, it's obviously a little play on the words. The first Vrye burgers, the first people that were sort of set free by the VOC to own land. And it could be quite a contentious sort of conversation, I suppose, but for us, the Vrye burger is just a thing of, it's a burger that's free of any bullshit. It's good meat in good bread, and obviously the free ice cream that goes with it. So we just wanted to build this very linear burger joint that does one burger actually, and that's it. It's all like sort of a celebration almost of just a simple hamburger. And if you ask me today what our biggest achievement is, it's no awards, it's not being Chef of the Year, it's none of that nonsense. The thing that I'm proud of the most is that I've managed to survive COVID in one piece and keep all my restaurants going.
Like he's a really hard person to work for, but the opportunities that he gives you in life is really unbelievable. He's a great teacher. I've learned pretty much most of my stuff from Chef. So I started with him 7 years ago as a trainee running around the kitchen, and he's pretty much taught me everything I know about cooking and everything, and I kind of worked my way up to where I am now.
I think, there's actually two things that's changed my life in the last 10 years. The first thing was getting married. My wife has had a big impact on my life and in our businesses. We worked together. Becoming a father was life-changing, and just realizing sort of what life is about. It changed the way that I cook, it changed the way that I run my businesses, it changed my approach to people, and that's sort of where we are. It's just operating, doing our thing, hustling, running around, having fun.
Blue.